My name is Francis Fox, and I was trained as a child as a psychic spy. All my psychic abilities have been trained, honed, perfected, and it was what I chose before incarnated in order to be able to accomplish my mission, which is to deliver this extra information to you. What I'm going to be talking about next, and most of the time, is multidimensional. You already know what's happening on the physical dimension, but why is it happening? Because that why is always in the other dimensions. And what else interesting do we need to know about that in the other dimensions that we're not aware of? The title of this chat was Frequency Shifts. And then I added the word orgasm, because orgasm is a frequency shift that we achieve with the act of sex. What's that got to do with Tesla? Very quickly. Everything that a person creates is an extension of their energy. Short story. I used to have a bridal salon, and one of the people that I ran it with said that she thought, she didn't know anything about astrology, that she thought that dresses must have astrological signs or energies because we would get a dress from a manufacturer that was on our racks for people to order from. We'd order a ton of them. And then all of a sudden, one day to the next, the dress, that sample stopped selling. And after several years, she said, this has got to be astrological. Years after that, I checked because it happened to a dress that we made a lot of money on. And then all of a sudden, nothing. And we bought stock, which you're not supposed to do in bridals, but we believe so much in it. And then it stopped selling. When I checked, what happened was that the dresses are a continuation of the designer energy, also the factory. But in this case, the designer energy was much more intense. And in terms of the dress that I was checking, the designer was very happy when the dress was selling. But he wasn't happy because of the dress was selling. He was happy because of what was going on in his life. Then his life went south. He had some kind of a human emergency, human transition, whatever, trauma. And what he was energizing, which were his samples, his designs, went south. What does this have to do with frequency shift, orgasm, and Tesla? Okay, I'm sure people are saying, she's just in love with Elon Musk. She loves everything he does. She's not even thinking, no. The reason I'm in love is because this is a person that has incredible intentions and vitalizes those intentions. He's not a victim sitting in the back of the bus wishing the world were different so they wouldn't beat up on people. No. He's in the front right there in the fray. But let's get back to frequency shift, orgasm, and Tesla. Orgasm is a change in frequency. At the moment of of orgasm, you are changing your frequency. You feel incredible. You're totally disconnected from the physical dimension. It's all this energy running through you and up, not down. If you ever have an orgasm, it feels like it's going down, then you have a block and that energy is going down. You don't want it. You don't want to touch the underworld. Okay. So orgasm is one of the times in a human's life where there really needs to be protection, because anytime there's a frequency shift, such as during orgasm, doing frequency shifts, ascension processes, you need more protection because you're in between. You're no longer energizing and vitalizing, like, say, the vehicle of your physical body, such as during orgasm. You are out and up. Leaves an emptiness in the physical body. When you astral travel, the same thing happens. You leave it empty. The physical vehicle vessel is empty. And the people that know the most tell you you're supposed to build a little protective cage around it. I'm not sure that works. I don't know. So when you die and when you are born, it is another frequency shift of your mind, and you need protection. When you die, there are all sorts of rituals and sacred people that come in or that pray for you. The Buddhists have the most incredible and powerful and effective ceremonies for when somebody passes. They know how to get them out of whatever the mess they're in the other dimensions, because they're not ready for dying spiritually. They're not ready. They may be ready to give up their physical body, but they're not ready to die. They haven't done the work. Buddhists have a ceremony and they escort them to wherever it is that they need to be escorted. When our children are born, we have a baptism 3 months later in which we declare that that kid came in defective. Well, why is it defective? Well, I can tell you that there is I'm not sure he's well known. There is from New Zealand or Australia, a gynecologist who wrote a book and said something that I know is accurate from personal experience, that when you have a child, the birth of that child could mean something really wonderful for you, in that if you have a huge spirit attached to you, that person that's being born can take it with him. And you are relieved of that. It's a transference of energy in a frequency shift, throughout a frequency shift. So you come in from other incarnations, all sorts of stuff, and we don't even need to talk about that. When was the last time a hospital room was purified of spirits? Never. When people die, the spirits that are hooked onto them are looking for another home. They need somebody else to attach to. They don't just all stay crouched in a corner of the delivery room, the surgery room, the hospital room. They're actively looking for a new host. Those places are never purified. The worst place for you to get sick is spiritually, is in a hospital. I don't want anybody going after me and saying that I'm telling people not to go to hospitals, even though I have to say that statistically, according to the specialists, it's actually dangerous to go to a hospital. Third leading cause of death in the United States is mistakes in hospitals. Okay, we kind of already knew that, but they documented it. So you have a change of frequency. You need protection. And then you have these people, the young people especially, go ahead and have sex in cemeteries. What are they thinking? They obviously haven't been educated, because if they actually knew that spirits are real and that they could attach to them and change their destiny and their life from that minute forward, because when you have an orgasm, you get completely emptied. There's a big space for the spirits to come in. And I know you're going, Francis, you're supposed to be talking about Schumann resonance and the ascension process and psychic spy. I'm talking about the things that I know are important that you don't know yet are important. And you may not be able to use this information tonight, but it's there inside of you and you will understand it later. It will fill in the gaps, which is probably a lot of what it is that I can do for you, give you information that fills in gaps in your knowledge that you don't even know that you have. But let's go back to Tesla. Our homes are deeply related to our destiny, because we have a center axis, and from it extends 72,000 mind strings that channel our mind. We're not the strings, we're not the structure, we're the liquid called Amrit. Those strings extend into our spaces. They extend into our car, they extend into our homes, they extend into our jobs, and whatever's in those spaces, the quality and the frequency influences the strings. And those strings are the instrument of creation. Your intention is held in your center, and then the 72,000 mind streams, plus smaller versions of that system throughout your body, create your reality. So your environment is very important. But when feng shui is how it's pronounced, I believe, which is a 3,000-year-old study and totally valid, when it was developed and presented with a map, at that time, there were no cars. There were also no gas stoves, there were no electronics, so they didn't take into consideration the fire element which radiates from these devices. But they also didn't take into consideration that your car is a mini home. It turns out, and that is my discovery that I will be presenting relatively soon with the map, etc. Your car, your home is an extension of you and influences your destiny. Your car is an extension of you and influences your sexuality, your sensuality, your manifestation, your creativity. It has everything to do with orgasm, obviously. So what's the deal with Tesla? If any of you have a Tesla, you will know that the person that is responsible for your Tesla loves his product. So the car is made with love. Orgasm is associated with the car that is made with love, which is a frequency. How much more can you ask for? It is perhaps not known to all of you, but an orgasm that includes love with whoever it is that you are orgasming with is much more satisfactory than an orgasm that's simply having to do with physical body connection. There's nothing the matter with that. But there's qualitatively a different energy. To have a car that supports your sexuality, particularly with the energy of love, is a gift that most people can't recognize because they don't have this extra information, which is why I'm here. This is why I have taken 30 years of humiliation from everybody who didn't have this information, who thought I was crazy, that wished that I would shut up, that was ashamed of me because of everything I talked about, including this. I walked in on a family member one day and they were talking about how was just on the radio talking about sex. Meanwhile, what I had said on the radio was they asked me to read certain areas in Miami, and they asked me to read Key Biscayne, which is a very lovely little island that is very ritzy and very nice and very beachy. And they said, "What is the major energy there?" And I said, "The major energy in Key Biscayne is infidelity." And everybody gasps. It was a radio show, and then they went, "Oh my God, that makes sense. If I said it, it's probably true because of my severe training." So, getting back to the relationship between frequency shifts and what you have around you, we are in a huge frequency shift. It is so big, it's talked about in the Bible. It is so big that the Mayans said 5,000 years ago it was going to happen. You have to protect your orgasm. You cannot have sex in a bed where the last time you were there or the last 10 times you were there, if you were there like with a man and he struggled with his impotence, you may have to get into that bed again. But why don't you purify that? And that way you protect the next act of sex. Why do I keep going back to sex? Because that's what's coming up for me. Because I know a lot and maybe too much about that. And I want to share it with you because it's important information. The same way you need to protect the next sex act. Okay, and you can do that by purifying the bed and doing a mantra way before you think you're going to have sex, in case it wasn't so successful, so wonderful, whatever the last time, or because you want to ensure it. You need to protect you today during this frequency shift. What do you need to protect? You should go out and buy a Tesla. Okay, and you can protect your sexuality. What's the issue with the sexuality? The issue with the sexuality is that now the color, which is orange, is in all my sketches because it's also that chakra that has to do with sexuality is called the sacral chakra. It's not called the sexual chakra, which is what I called it for decades. It's the sacral chakra, which means sacred. And the mantra the dolphins gave me for that chakra is, "You are not allowed to invade my sacred space." That mantra apparently doesn't apply to any of the other chakras. But let's go back again. If you like and you're uncomfortable, let's drop the information on sex and let's go back up again that you're in a planet that's going through a frequency shift. Are you protected? Do you even know what that means? No, I have great locks on and I have a security system and I lived in a gated area. I'm talking about the other dimensions. The frequency shift is not happening on the physical dimension. Perhaps some of it is. I'm not going to go and see if that statement is 1000% accurate. It's happening in the other dimensions. Are you protected? I think so. Do you believe in spirits? Well, I'm not sure. You're not protected. You don't even believe in what it is that can take you down. What form do you think the extraterrestrials that are coming into the planet take? They can't take a physical form unless they take one of our bodies, at which time we call it a possession issue, and they become a zombie, or that body becomes a zombie. What protections do you have? How clean is your space of spirits? Now, this is news from other dimensions. This is information from other dimensions. This is the most important information that you need. Not information on the 7 different chakras and the fact that you have a second section of chakras that are underneath the bottom of the trunk of your body that most people don't even know exists because they're in the underworld, which the BP oil accident in the Gulf of Mexico broke into the underworld, and when they were never able to close that back up again. Where are we going with this? What's happening today is happening in the other dimensions. The spaceships, the ETs, the galactic invasions, all of that is in the other dimensions. And most of you do not have a clue. So you need to get educated on it, and you need to protect yourself. The easiest way, what could be the easiest way, but you're not going to do it, is to make sure you have enough of the earth element and you diminish the fire element. Fire comes from your computer, your cell phone, your digital clock beside your bed, Wi-Fi, 5G, basically everything. The meter that tells Florida Power and Light how much electricity you used that month, all of that is the fire element. You got a lot of that. Some of you have a router next to your bed, the other side of the wall. I cringe because I know the kind of problems. So the earth element. So you need to diminish the fire and augment the earth. You have to go to the beach. You have to go to mountains. You have to go to parks. And you know that hundreds of years ago in Europe, when somebody was ill, they would put them in sanatoriums. But what they did with the person, they didn't fill them with pharmaceuticals, to my knowledge. They parked them outside in the morning. They sat there for hours, and then they brought them in, or they gave them lunch out there, and then at night they would bring them back in again. The people on these little chairs that were immobilized because they were so sick. Why did they park them outside? What kind of medicine is that? The best medicine, because it's the earth element, which puts out the fire, which they didn't have then. But the earth element is the one that keeps you the safest and the most protected against invasion by spirits, whether there's spirits from the people who died that used to be human beings on this planet, or spirits from off planet. Because those beings don't have a physical body, therefore they are spirits. They're a different kind of spirits. They know technology. They know how to get from one planet to another without doing the long division or the slow train. What do they call it? The slow train to China. Was that the expression? I think it's a little bit different. They know how to do dimensional travel. Well, if you don't even know about the dimensions, how the hell are you going to do dimensional travel? You're not going to. You're going to go the long way. But there's a short way, and it's called the Merkaba, which most people cannot use consciously, but people can be trained. So the frequency shift issue is right now the most important issue today. We have a frequency issue going on with some of our authorities. They are not looking so clear-headed. Now, when you have people that are not clear-headed, dementia, Alzheimer's, mental illness, that's all having to do with frequencies. Their physical body is still vibrating in the physical dimension. They look like they're fine, they're healthy, they're okay. Their mind is doing, it's another vibration inside a body that looks totally healthy. So you've got two different frequencies going on that do not correspond, we're never supposed to be together. So going back to why you should buy a Tesla, send me the check, Elon, later on. I won't let anybody know that you paid me for this ad. That is obviously not true. You need protection in the other dimensions. And crystals, by the way, are made up of the earth element. So one of the major reasons why crystals work and have throughout the centuries, and they've been so revered, especially when people go into battle, they have all these breastplates and these stuff that they put on them, and they're mainly crystals and whatever other material to hold the crystal together. To be able to present the crystal, they have to put it on something. So you might consider finding out about crystals, finding out what are the protective crystals, what you should have in the four corners of your bed, at the foot of your bed, what you should be doing before you go to sleep, because you can protect yourself and you don't have to be a rocket scientist, and you do not need to go to the university. As a matter of fact, going to the university is very soon going to be considered a severe handicap to surviving gracefully these difficult times. Because what you learn at the university will tell you that all this stuff, no. Where's the proof in that? Actually, it's an entirely different system. Because in the other dimensions, it's a lot more democratic. We do not have scientists that went to Ivy League universities telling us what we see in the other dimensions. They can say that we're not seeing that and that we're crazy, but they can't tell us what we see, and they can't control what we see in the other dimensions. So it's kind of like everybody's created equal, which is a very, very good thing. So we are also here to reduce our tension. So let's go ahead and let me show you what I sketched for you today. Let me show you what I sketched last night first, because this is what I sketched last night at 7:20 in this same class. The earth burning up, X is black magic, a line between that and us, and then this green, like it would have been grass, and then we have the triangles of protection, and the third eye is open, and these are orange. First time, okay, or maybe second time, I can't keep up. Then at 9 o'clock last night, in my second class, everything was orange, except for the fire underneath. Orange, second chakra, sacral, sexuality, manifestation, creativity. And then today, before this class started, this is what I sketched of the collective mind map of us. This is the earth totally burning up, totally cursed. And that map that I have of Texas that I did 2 or 3 days ago, cursed. The triangles are orange. The mind streams at the top are orange, but the ones at the bottom are green. I'm not sure what that means. Then we got a dotted line here, and I think that means that we are going to be cut from our earth that is burning. What does that mean? Does the ascension process, does it mean that we separate into 2 planets? What does it mean? I'm not sure. But then we have another cutout section, which is a triangle with pointed downwards, which could be the top 3 chakras. Not really sure. And then you have the blue eye, which I didn't sketch. So I would say that the energy of sacredness, which is the orange, is taking over the energy of earth, which is, and heart, which is the green. What does that mean? I don't know, but I do believe that this is a cut that we are going to experience, and we're not going to be going through the hell of the apocalypse, those images of burning and killing and the devil and people horrified and crying and all the rest of that. I think we're going to be liberated from that. Is that the whole planet? No. It's always been known that there will be people that go slide into hell of the apocalypse and other people that will rise up. And I think what I'm sketching, which are those of us here, I'm not sketching the whole planet, I think that we are rising up from this fire. The fire is the food of the devil. The more fire that Earth has, the more we have beings that want to be here because we have their food. It's like putting out food for a dog. You don't want the dog in the neighborhood to come to your house, stop putting food out. You don't want to have 10 cats in your front door or your back door, stop feeding them. I'm not saying that you should stop feeding them, but there's a direct link between offering food to animals and them showing up. We're offering food to beings and they're showing up. They may also be stimulating so that we have more of their food here, which would be the fire element. The fire element is responsible also for all of the violence, emotional discontrol, verbal discontrol, physical lack of control, murder, insomnia, anxiety, etc. I've repeated that 1,000 times. You need to get it because I'm getting bored too. But when your kid loses it, rather than trying to figure out if it's his father's fault or is he mentally ill or what are you going to do about this, why don't you look at his bedroom and where he sleeps and where he sits and how he sleeps? Is his cell phone on his body next to his head under the pillow? Is the router in his room because you want to make sure that he gets his stuff quick enough on the computer? Start looking at what causes mental illness, what causes people to change their personalities and become animals and become the food for spirits like the devil. Start looking at that. Cut back the food for those beings. That, by the way, is not new information. That's pretty old information. So I'm going to put up, you're going to figure out from 1 to 10 how you feel about this great little revelation of other dimensional information. 1 to 10, 1 is you want to slit your wrist, 10 is you feel great, and we're going to do the gold and white dress. You will be able to see the gold if you have that frequency. And that dress can be gold and white, and you could be seeing it bronze and blue because you don't have that frequency. We didn't change the dress. You are not able to see the gold because you're at a lower frequency. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you got an awful lot of stuff stuck to you, which could be memories from traumas. It could be spirits that attach to the memories from traumas, all sorts of things. So I'm putting up the mantra now. We're going to do that, and then we are going to finish. Here's the mantra. This is the mantra for peace, which is reducing fear and hate. And we're not saying it's for peace. We're just saying we want to reduce it, to purify it. And the miraculous thing is it purifies it in us and it purifies it in our environment. And if enough people do it, we could create world peace. But I'm not looking for world peace because we've always been told, and I do believe that's the case, that today there's a part of this planet that is going to play out the violence that was predicted for the apocalypse. And then a part of us, which is, there's less known about that, is going to be lifted above and not have to suffer through that. And that's why I'm doing this, so that there'll be more people that can do the ascension process, which is what the Schumann resonance is showing us. Today, the Schumann resonance looks like this. And all the way on the right, that is light entering, and light is information. And we are in revelations. We're getting more information. Okay, so I'm going to put on the music from the solar plexus, which is the garbage can of emotions. Okay, and we're going to do 15 minutes of that, and then we're finished. Bye. Not bye, but We're separating for a minute while you While you collect yourself back from your mind being in other dimensions, shamanism, they say that breath is the horse the mind rides to go into other dimensions. That's why breath is so important in everything having to do with meditation and energy work and healings and all the rest of that. I think I left a story with a little bit of a loose end, and that having to do with the connection between everything I'm talking about and Tesla. So first, I need to tell you two stories. As you're collecting yourself from 1 to 10, how much better do you feel? In Miami, there are two shopping centers, and one of them is a little bit weird and has continuously changed. A large shopping center changed ownership, and somebody one day said to me when we were driving past, I wonder what happened. How come that's not successful? In my mind, cannot stand a question mark. So I immediately hopped to it mentally. What's the root cause of this shopping center not being able to sustain success? And the information that I got was that the architect And the contractor, which is not the owner, the architect and the contractor hated each other. And they battled it out every step of the way in the construction. And that hatred and battle was in the construction, and became, of course, the energy of that shopping center. So it's not comfortable being there, and it's never been successful. They have brought in all sorts of big stores and then weird little stores and then other stores, and they're constantly changing because it was built into the actual building. And then before that, many years before, there was a shopping center built by a person who is, I don't know him. I understand, very arrogant and with huge rage issues. And the shopping center was built. I'm not sure it was successful for even 5 minutes. Multi-million dollar building. They sold it and had to tear it down. Another shopping center was built, didn't make it. We're on to the third one on that same land. With the first one, which was an unusual, everybody found out about it because the person who owned it was very, very much in the public eye. Somebody said, "What is the matter with that building?" And when I checked, it was that the energy of the owner was in the actual building, which was violence and hatred, and everybody's stupid every step of the way, because I understand, was very controlling. That I found out afterwards. I didn't know who had built the building. I was asked, "What's the matter that it can't manage to sustain success?" Okay, those are two stories. Why am I talking about this now? I'm going back to the Tesla. The Tesla is built with love. So who's ever going to be in a Tesla is going to be sustained by that, the same way those buildings were sustained by hatred and violence, and thinking that everybody's stupid because the contractor and the builder in the first building thought everybody was stupid. They thought each other was stupid. And the person in the second building I told you about, he thought everybody was stupid. So all that is built in. The Tesla has built in a genuine love for humanity, a desire that everybody be happy and safe and okay. That's why you should get a Tesla. But not just a Tesla. That's why you need to apply that to everything. I'm using Tesla as an example because I'm still in love with my Tesla. I was driving with my grandson this afternoon, my Tesla. I said, "Please show me how to put this in dog mode because I like to leave my dog, and it's really hot in Miami." I said, "Show me how to do it." And then we stopped where we were going. And then I went, "Okay, show me." He said, "I already did it." I said, "Well, what is it?" He said, "You press here and you press here and you put dog mode, and that's it." That's it? That's it. More than that is the energy of the owner of that company that wants for me to be okay and wants that everything that I love be okay. And it transfers. That's a point, not the person. It transfers through objects. I don't know if probably through systems also. I don't really know. I'm not going to go there. That's was the whole point about associating the Tesla. When you buy a house, was the contractor and the builder, did they hate each other? Did they love what they do? Do they love what they're doing? Or did they do it because they wanted to make money? You need to ask that more and more. We need that sustaining energy. And the bad news is that anything that's not built with the right intentions having to do with now in Revelations is not going to do well. And the good news is that you can check it out in advance. With food, it's the same thing. The shamans say, do not eat food at the house of an enemy, because the easiest way to poison someone is to putting some kind of magic in their food. But you don't have to get to that point. Your mother cooks for you, and your mother has a massive depression because your father died 10 years ago, and you guys are on the edge of poverty because we don't have that income, and your mother's the one cooking the food. She loves you, and she loves to cook for you, but her energy is going into that food. All those fast food places with all those young people who couldn't care less, we're eating that? Yes, we are. And then let's not get to the animals that get killed in under tremendously god-awful state under the conditions that's in the meat, that's in the food, we eat it, it transfers. That was the whole point of that. So we're going to finish today, and I hope all of you are benefited from the 15 minutes, 14 and a half of mantra therapy. And I hope that this information will help you to widen your lens to include the other dimensional factors, being it that they are causal. Makes sense. Thank you. Love you a lot. We will see you back tomorrow. Bye. Actually, there's one more thing I would like to tell you. There is a video that if I put it up on my site or in this chat, they're going to take it down. And we're not going to do that. I'm going to give you the link, and I'd like you to look at this video. It's a Michael Jackson video. And it's one that is actually not really well known in this country, even though it won an award in Europe decades ago. And this is the link, and the video is called Earth Song. And I wish I could play it for you here. And it has to do with fixing a world full of chaos and destruction and murder and pain with the mind. Michael Jackson. Please look at it. And thank you for joining me. Bye. Let me put it on screen. Earth Song. There we go. Okay.